Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is iTalk here, and in today's video, we have a brand new video. So in terms of Fortnite, we got a lot to look forward to. Tomorrow we get a brand new update with new Lego Fortnite stuff, new Fortnite Festival Pass, new Fortnite Festival headliner, which is now confirmed to be Billie Eilish, which is crazy because now it seems like that the big leak that I talked about not that long ago is actually all true, but maybe it's not. Maybe we just got that one right, but regardless of all of that, we got a new sort of exclusive look into Donald Mustard and Fortnite. So we got this GameFile News article called Fortnite's longtime lead creator Donald Mustard speaks about his epic run and what's next. I'm only really going to talk about his time here in Fortnite because that is what most of you want to actually know about. So they say last September, Mustard left Epic Games after a lengthy run, including 7 years as the company's chief creative officer and maestro of Fortnite. They rarely gave interviews during his time at Epic and hasn't given one since his exit until now, as he gets started on a new collaboration at production company AGBO with film directors Joe and Anthony Russo. When we connected last week, he was eager to tell the story of his time on Fortnite and of the games he made that led to one of the biggest pop culture phenomena of the last decade. They go over his history a little bit in terms of like what he was doing in game development and stuff like that. Then they also say here that Mustard got into thinking about running a game as a live service. He was also increasingly interested in multiplayer gaming. Those ideas would soon converge in a big way. In 2016, Epic promoted Donald Mustard to chief creative officer of the whole company. Epic was in transition. In 2014, it had sold its flagship game series Gears of War to Microsoft. That same year, it had unveiled Fortnite, then strictly a day-night survival game that was deep in development and would disappear from public view for years. It became apparent that we needed to shake something up, Donald Mustard said. By early 2017, a 100-person, last-person standing shooter game called PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was rising up the charts, but it was the Battle Royale games cropping up in Minecraft that first caught Mustard's eye. Battle Royale games, he remembers thinking, felt like a really unique take on how do you bring lots of people into a thing. Then came a fateful car ride in mid-2017, right before the summer launch of the survival version of Fortnite, the one without any Battle Royale. It was Tim Sweeney and Paul Megan, who was the president of Epic at the time, Kim Labrie, Epic's CTO. The four of us were in the back of an Uber in California heading to a meeting at Disney. We were already toying with this idea that we need to do a Battle Royale, we should do this, and what if we did it in Fortnite? And so in the car we decided we're doing it. We're going to retask the team, we're going to put it in Fortnite, we're going to make a Battle Royale. I'm like, we need a design document in like 3 hours. So I'm in the back of this Uber writing the one-page design for Battle Royale. It's going to be this and this. A school bus is going by us in traffic, and I'm like, players are going to be on a bus in the sky, and we're going to jump out of it. The Battle Royale mode, complete with the soon-to-be iconic battle bus, launched in September 2017. As for criticism at the time that Fortnite appeared to be copying PUBG, Mustard emphasizes the Battle Royales in Minecraft as inspiration and adds, "My philosophy is all video games are all of us riffing off each other. This to me is just an evolution of Quake." Very interesting that he kind of thinks of it like that. A few months after Fortnite Battle Royale launched, players noticed something strange in the sky. There was a dot, maybe a comet that seemed to be getting closer by the day. From the start, Mustard wanted Fortnite to feel like it occurred in an evolving world. Other multiplayer games had sequels and expansions or added new maps. He wanted his game's playing field to feel different. The island will evolve and will change over time so that we build nostalgia and history with the story. That was always there from day one. The first change to the map involved the appearance of some construction equipment, then some beams, and eventually a cluster of buildings called Tilted Towers. The comet came next and was actually up in the sky for a couple of weeks before players noticed it. I wanted something so visually distinct and so inevitable. I wanted people to see this sort of thing getting closer and closer every day. What's going to happen when that hits the island? Players tried to map the comet's trajectory and guessed it would hit Tilted Towers. Mustard says his team hadn't decided where it would land, but didn't want to wreck the buildings that they had just built. Riffing off fan speculation, Mustard's team added signs to the game that said "RIP Tilted," and they chose an impact site nearby at Dusty Depot. We had to make it somewhere near Tilted to kind of validate what they were saying. While the island was Fortnite's main character, the game did wind up with some memorable cast members, including Peely, the Weird Banana Man. He exists in the game to troll Mustard's younger brother, Chad, aka Mustard Plays, you probably know who that is, who hated bananas since childhood. As an adult, Donald would buy Chad joke banana gifts and recalls pitching Fortnite art director Pete Ellis on a banana character to take his kneading to a new level. At first, they thought Peely could be a man in a banana suit. Then they decided no, a sentient banana. The more you play the match, it rots, Mustard says. The original Peely gets browner and browner and spotted over 22 minutes. That would just be so weird. Marvel Comics and movie villain Thanos was the first ever crossover character in Fortnite, popping up in the game in a limited time event in May 2018. It was a cross-promotional moment. Joe and Anthony Russo, superstar directors of Marvel movies including Avengers Infinity War, were also Fortnite fans. They connected with Mustard to get Thanos in the game to help promote the movie, striking up an enduring relationship. Mustard always wanted Fortnite's island to be a meeting spot for different kinds of characters and a place to play with a wide range of activities, not just BR. Over 6 years, I wanted to tell the origin story basically of the metaverse, he says, or of what if there was actually a shared reality where you could just go and create and be in this multiverse of possibilities. He cooked up something called the 0 Point, an intersection of realities where characters of different archetypes would converge. I didn't dare to dream that I could ever do it with actual intellectual property. I was just like, I'll create my own superheroes, I'll create my own knights. A few months after launch, with the start of the game's second season, he had started moving Fortnite away from its original military aesthetic, offering medieval knight costumes as unlockable rewards. Mustard wanted the island to feel like a mashup. I wanted to create a place that was basically like being out in the backyard when you were a kid in the 80s or playing with your toys in the playroom floor. There was no one there saying, well, Spider-Man's allowed to do this and Batman's only allowed to do this and Barbie can't hang out with Spider-Man. I'm like, I want to create something where you can hang out with your friends and express yourself however you want. Once Fortnite had tens of millions of players, it had become clear that getting actual famous characters into Fortnite could make business sense. Mustard began making his pitch. It was literally me and one of our business people. We just kind of went on the road and I went and met with everyone with Marvel, with DC, and would say, here's what we could do together. Here's what the story is. I would take people through the next 6 years, like, here's the 6-year arc of what I'm going to do with the story and why you can trust me with your IP. Marvel was like, no way. DC is like, wait, you're gonna put Batman next to Spider-Man? Then there was John Wick. I spent a long time sitting on Keanu Reeves' couch being like, here's why you should be the first one. I was starting to get good traction with Batman as well, so I'm like, if I can get Batman and John Wick, I'm there. Reeves said yes, and John Wick became the first permanently obtainable licensed skin in Fortnite. Batman made it in, Mustard says, because he sold DC Comics on a comic book pitch that sent Batman to the Fortnite island. Years later, it came the prep of one of Fortnite's biggest events and most audacious crossover moments, the Zero Crisis finale. It would include a bevy of crossover characters from movies Aliens, Terminator, Predator, games Ryu from Street Fighter throwing a fireball at Peely, and even some flagship mascots of the biggest game consoles on the market. I wanted 3 things, Mustard says. He got 2 of them. While Epic has never flat out said, a presentation desk that emerged during Epic's lawsuit against Apple made it clear they wanted Master Chief from Xbox, God of War's Kratos from PlayStation, and Metroid's Samus Aran from Nintendo. Chief and Kratos made it in. It helped that Mustard is friends with a lot of game developers, including one of God of War's main architects, Cory Barlog, but there was no Samus. Nintendo declined. They got really hung up on their characters showing up on platforms that weren't their platforms. Fortnite ran on all consoles and PC, even mobile at the time, meaning all the crossover characters would show up on all those devices. They would be thrilled to have Nintendo characters in Fortnite, but just only if it's on their platform. Epic would not be okay with platform-specific characters. For me and for all of Epic, we're like, that is an absolute must. We want to make sure that Fortnite is the same experience no matter what screen or device you're playing on. We had talked about this a long time ago. We said that, oh, this is the reason why, but we didn't really have any concrete proof that that was the reason why. Well, now we do. Yeah, Nintendo just said no unless Samus is only available on Switch consoles. Absolutely mind-boggling that they really declined on that. Then, in June of 2018, Fortnite held its first big live event, the rocket launch that all players could witness if they logged to play at a specific time. The game's live events got wilder from there. A strange cube appeared, then split apart. A volcano shot players into the sky. Giant mechs battled across the island. In February 2019, a musician, Marshmello, held a concert in Fortnite. Mustard recalls some Epic colleagues being skeptical of that one. There were people that thought that the Marshmello thing was so out there and dumb and not what Fortnite was, because Fortnite should be about the core gameplay. There was a lot of contention around some of that early stuff until it worked. Again, very interesting there. They also say here, on October 13th, 2019, Mustard and company did something wilder. A black hole appeared and seemingly knocked the game offline. The game was down until October 15th for about a 36-hour span. It was Mustard's idea. This is a live service game. We're never gonna have a sequel, so how do I do a sequel without doing a sequel? Take the game offline, make people miss it, and bring it back just different enough that would be Fortnite Chapter 2. A few of us would actually decide everything that's going on at Epic, and so I went to them. He says, they're like, we love it, we support you, you go for it. The marketing team was more skeptical, so I went, all right, everybody, here's the crazy idea. We're doing this, and we're turning off the game for a month. I knew it wasn't going to be a month. People were like, what? Really, I just wanted it to be 3 days. So over 6 months, we were planning this crazy thing, and I let them whittle it down to exactly what I wanted in the first place. That's crazy that his first opportunity with this was a month. Like, that's nuts. But then they whittled it down, obviously, to like 3 days. Also, in March 2021, Mustard and his events team kicked off the 0 Point finale. During the pivotal moments, a character called the Foundation showed up and spoke. To many players, he sounded awfully familiar. Mustard had met Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson a year earlier to discuss the role. I think I first started talking to DJ right at the start of COVID. Johnson was one of the biggest movie stars on the planet, but Epic wouldn't acknowledge that was him playing the Foundation. They distorted his voice to disguise it slightly. I had lots of versions of where it was really distorted, but right near the end, we pulled it back to almost no distortion. He wanted people to think that they were hearing Dwayne, but weren't sure. To me, that was part of the magic. In December 2021, the Foundation removed his helmet, revealing Johnson's virtual face. Fortnite doesn't do as many live events these days. They do special things like the massively popular return of Fortnite's older seasons last fall for a mini season called Fortnite OG. But the big shared events, the ones that were so novel to all of the gaming and that Mustard was so proud of to use to tell a bigger story, have faded away. Most seasons come and go without them. It was resources. Mustard says he wound down his work on Fortnite in 2022. The last season he oversaw was Vibin, the game's 21st season. By mid-2022, Epic was committing to build LEGO Fortnite and Fortnite Racing, the new expansion of Fortnite, into a proper multi-game metaverse that would go live in December 2023. To build all this stuff, it takes so many people and so much time. Basically, the event team was starting to be needed to work on other stuff, and it was devastating to me because I'm like, this is actually the magic, and not everyone at Epic agrees with that. I wonder if that has anything to do with Tim Sweeney. But anyway, Mustard also began itching to work on new projects and decided to accelerate Fortnite's story. He crammed in some high points. I threw myself a fireworks show. I got Darth Vader in, got Indiana Jones in. I got to make sure I got all the stuff that I needed for me. That's why the season is called Vibin'. It's all just like hanging out, just a celebration. Tim and I talked about it for a long time. There was actually a really clarifying thing. He wanted to pursue his own thing. Now that I look at it, I just keep trying to be on the edge, and I think there's this one last edge thing I've got to try. Mustard now considers himself retired from games. He says he didn't have his next role in mind when he left. But by the end of 2023, the Russo brothers came calling and asked if he would partner with them at their production company, AGBO. We spent time together over the years talking about ideas and our philosophies for telling stories and creating bigger team experiences, he says. They knew some of the stuff that I was working on, and Joe called and said, "What if you come do it with us?" His goal, he says, is to develop technologies and processes to help figure out what is the storytelling medium of the future, and what does that even mean? Honestly, I don't know what it means, but I've got some ideas, and we have some ideas. Wow, wow, wow. So this was a pretty big bombshell of an article that just dropped. And yeah, you know, it's interesting because when I talked about Fortnite losing its vision in a video, I cropped part of the audio out because I thought it was kind of rude to make assumptions, but I said in the audio, I said that I wonder if it has anything to do with Donald Mustard leaving the game, that he even saw that like the game was just fading from what it used to be and he doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. Not to put names out there and not to like come up with conspiracy theories, but I would not be shocked if Donald Mustard saw what was going on with the game and just abandoned ship on it. He probably didn't see that the game was going in this more cartoony direction, and the fact that the game is just prying itself away from its roots. I would not be shocked if that was one of the reasons as to why he had left. That's just a small little thing I sometimes think about. I don't think it has anything to do with that, but I'm just saying I would not be surprised if he had decided to leave because of what was going on with the game. That's all I'm saying. And, you know, there's this one big post I wanted to talk about. Like, I didn't even really think of the live event things, because I'll be straight up with you. The live events are awesome, but if it takes away from, like, core content and it takes away from what we can actually see in, like, the permanent game, then, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of cool with it just being a part of the permanent version of the game instead of it being a one-time event where, yes, it's great, but, like, all that dev time, I feel like, would be useful in actually putting work into gameplay and stuff like that and cosmetics and whatnot. But I still miss the events, like, don't get me wrong, but I genuinely thought that Mustard left because he realized that the vision of the game was turning into like this ridiculous metaverse idea that's been going on now, and this almost sort of kind of confirms that like it's just not the same game to him, and you know, no events. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I wanted to read this article to you guys, mostly because you actually have to pay money to read it, but I did that, so I will be paying the money just so I can read this article to you guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know with a like, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, use code ITALK in the Fortnite item shop if you'd like to support me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you all later. See ya.